Hey, it's iEmpire here today with Volume 6 of PlayStation 5 Hidden Gems. So 5 more great games, and we're going to kick it off with Absolov, End of Gods. So this is a first-person horror adventure game, and really cool. It mixes futuristic sci-fi with Norse mythology. Super interesting story. Really highly recommend this game. You wake up at this medical table, no idea where you are or what's going on, and all of a sudden you hear this robotic voice talking to you, giving you commands. It's getting more angry. You feel really threatened, and you decide you see a way to make a break for it, so you do, and begins your adventure. Something you find out when you're on the operating table is that you've been given a robotic arm, and you can shoot energy blasts with it. So you're going to solve puzzles with it. You can open portals with it that are going to open up new areas and new challenges. A lot of cool different environments that you're going to be playing through. The thing with the enemies is that enemies take more than one blast, and the robotic arm requires recharge, so it's not a constant option for you. So when you're dealing with enemies, a lot of times stealth is your best option. So a lot of stealth in the game. It's got nice audio and visual design, nice voice acting, and again, a really interesting story. It's about a 5 to 6 hour adventure, but highly recommend this game. Really fun, so check out the trailer for Absolov. All right, our next game is a 3D adventure game called Bramble, and it's heavily inspired by Swedish folklore, which is what a lot of the enemy and boss design is based on. So the plot has you trying to save your sister. She's run into the forest, and there's a lot of deadly, dangerous creatures in there. And he has to try to, his name is Ole, and he has to try to survive in order to save his sister. Basic play loop in this game is that you're going to be doing platforming, stealth, solving puzzles, and battling bosses. And in the game, you acquire this thing called the Spark of Courage, and that's what you use for your weapon, and it's also your source of light. So visually, the game looks great. It's a really cool contrast between the beauty of the forest and the really dangerous areas that Ole has to travel through, where all the enemies and bosses are. But the game controls really good. There's a nice variety of enemies. What else was I going to say? Oh, there's no dialogue in the game, but the story's told through cutscenes, and there's a really great narrator in the game that helps to tell the story. So absolute gem of a game. Highly recommend it. Check out the trailer for Bramble.
Nightmare woke him up. Frightened by his mother's bedtime story, he searched for his sister's comfort. But she was nowhere to be found. The bramble covers all where darkness has taken hold. Follow the light. You will find what you are searching for within the mountain. That is what happens when you do not listen to your mother.
All right, our next game is a really fun retro-inspired 2D action platformer called Gunborg Dark Matters. And this has a heavy inspiration of the 80s. A lot of neon colors, and the soundtrack is ripped right out of the 80s. So the combat and platforming in this is an absolute blast. The controls take a little bit getting used to because some of the moves are trigger based, not button. So it does take a little getting used to. But as you're playing it, it becomes second nature. You're going to have a sword, firearms, and an energy shield. And the shield is useful in many different ways, offensively and defensively. So, you're typically going to be doing fighting waves of enemies, doing some platforming, and doing boss battles. So really nice variety of environments, enemy design, really fun game. Highly recommend it if you're into action platformers. So let's check out the trailer for Gunborg Dark Matters. Next game is a retro-inspired twin-stick hack and slash game called Battle Axe Special Edition. And what makes it special? Well, you got the cardboard sleeve on it, and it has a soundtrack inside. I love this game though. I love the twin-stick games. Again, fantastic art style with the characters and the environments. The gameplay is fast and it's a ton of fun. It's even more fun with co-op. So you got 3 different characters to choose from, each with their own abilities. You'll have melee, you'll have ranged, and dash attacks. You can play local co-op, single player. There's also an endless mode, new game plus, and then you can play through as all the 3 different kinds of characters too. So you're looking at 15 levels, 4 to 5 hours on a regular gameplay, but you can stretch that out to maybe 10 if you play out the different levels in that. I highly recommend this, a lot of fun. Pick it up, play with a friend. So check out the trailer for Battle Axe.
Evil has returned, and our champions must answer the call. What's this? My heroes wanting to dethrone. If Eldrick is once again terrorizing the land, confront her once and for all, and return peace to this world. Discover weapons, items, and artifacts to aid you in your quest as you power up your might along the way, rescuing anyone helplessly caught in the sorceress's chaos. Darkness draws ever closer in the war against evil and sorcery. Will you show courage and fight? Will you fall? Battle Axe!
Our last game has been a little bit controversial since its release, and that is Bleak Faith Forsaken, and it's an indie Souls-like 3D action RPG. It's the typical story, a game gets released too quickly, it's got glitches, bugs, all that, and then it gives itself a black eye because first impressions are important, but the developers have been doing a lot of patches and they have made significant improvements to the gameplay. The game is amazing, and its environmental presentation, a lot of verticality, sense of scale, environments are really fun to explore. The enemy designs, boss designs in that are really cool. The combat is Souls-like. It's not as impactful and it's a little slower, but it's not horrible. I enjoy it. I'm not great at these games to begin with, but the storyline, I'll be honest with you, I don't understand it. I don't understand any of the Souls games. I have to look up lore if I really want to understand the stories in these games because they're so cryptic. So this game's no different. and I will be, looking at stuff online to figure it out. But the bottom line to this is, are you a fan of Souls games? If you are, I recommend you give it a try. If you don't like Souls games, then don't bother with it. But I think it's underrated. I think it's been given kind of a little bit too much criticism, especially with all the updates. But check out the trailer and see what you think for League Faith. All right, that's it for Volume 6 of PlayStation 5 Hidden Gems. If you like the content, please consider a like and subscribe. Got a lot more videos up on my channel for more PS5 Hidden Gems as well as Nintendo Switch. So check those videos out if you want. And until then, take care. I'm out of here.